everyone. So I thought today we could just have a chat. I'd love your opinions on a particular subject, and that is niche better than designer? Now, I've recently seen some very passionate arguments on Facebook, in the fragrance groups of course, about whether or not design is better than niche or niche is better than designer. And I think it's a topic worth discussing because I definitely have my opinions and I'd love to hear yours. So, what do I think? This is kind of hard. I'm a bit scared to come out and say this, but I'm going to. In an overall black and white world, is niche better than designer? The answer is yes. But, and there's a big but, I think there are some amazing designer fragrances, one of which I'm wearing right now. It's Alien Essence Absolute. To me, if this was released by a niche house, I wouldn't have been surprised. The way that this smells is rich and complex and it's really, really beautiful, but it's designer. So that kind of doesn't support my argument, does it? However, there are some amazing, beautiful niche fragrances, like, for example, Aura Sublime. Perfumer is a well-renowned perfumer, Cécile Zarokian. She has many, many beautiful fragrances under her belt, and this, to me, is exceptional. So I still haven't really supported my argument, have I? Come on then, sweetie. Come on. Just get on my lap. So, why do I say that niche is better? I tell you why. And it's because designer houses, as a rule, not 100% of the time, but as a rule, they are putting out the same old crap time after time. They are very rarely being adventurous or taking a risk. Now, there's a reason for that. Of course there's a reason. They need to sell bottles of perfume. They need it to smell really, really mass appealing, crowd pleasing, and the only way to do that is to put out fragrances that smell very similar to everything else. So for that reason, designer fragrances, as a rule, bore me. Now, I'm a frag head. I think you know that. You're probably a frag head too if you're watching this video. So when you are a specialist, when you're really, really heavy into a hobby, then you are probably not that interested in the mass market stuff. Just as if I was a handbag collector, I would be lusting after the most niche, hard to find handbags. I probably wouldn't be happy going to the market and picking up a cheap knockoff, and I probably wouldn't be that excited about a high street handbag. And that's the same, I think, for all hobbyists. You are always going to be looking for the unicorns, looking for the hard to find stuff. And I think with fragrances, there's so many coming out. There are millions and millions of fragrances available, and you can go into the shops and you could smell 10 or 20 fragrances marketed to men or marketed to women, and they're all going to smell fairly similar, apart from the odd one where a house has been a little bit brave and put something out that's a little more polarizing. An example of that in the last couple of years was Gucci Guilty Absolute. The men's one is very, very smoky vetiver. It's not to my taste, but I really give them credit for coming out there with something that's a bit different, that's not going to be for everyone's taste. So that's why I think niche is better. I'm not saying that every niche perfume is better than every designer perfume. There are very, very skilled, well-trained perfumers behind these designer fragrances, but they are neutered by their company that's putting the fragrance out. They are guided by the marketing and the target audience and all of that crap. So they have to put something that's a little bit generic out. And of course, there's only so many materials available to make a perfume with. There's only so many smells, and they have to put them together in a way that's going to be mass appealing. So that's why I think niche is better. There are some niche houses out there that put out fragrances that do not work for me. They are far too out there. Maybe they've got too much oud in, maybe they are too stinky, maybe they smell like stinky feet or barbecued meat. There's loads of fragrances that smell like barbecued meat to my nose, and I don't like them. But I give credit to a perfume house that wants to put that out there. So that's why I think niche, in whole, as a general rule, I'm always going to go niche because I'm a hobbyist. I'm specialising, and I'm looking for the most exciting and the most well done and the most beautiful fragrances. So it stands to reason that, you know, I've been smelling perfumes in shops all my life. Before I even knew that I was into fragrances, I used to smell everything. Every time I went through duty free, I would smell everything that I have never smelled before, and I've generally smelled every designer fragrance that's mass marketed. I've smelt it because I've always smelled fragrances. And so it stands to reason that when the world of niche opened up to me, when I fell down that rabbit hole, I didn't look back, because I found houses like 4160 Tuesdays. They produce very, very beautiful and crowd-pleasing fragrances, but not done in the usual way. They're quirky and intriguing and mysterious, and there's beautiful stories behind them. And everything's fun about the house, and that goes for many houses. So I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there that I think niche is better than designer. But there are some bloody gorgeous designer fragrances. Let me get you some. So here's some designer fragrances that I own. These are all from my own collection and I think are amazing. Now this is Lulu, and this was made back in I think it was the early 90s. It's a Cacharel fragrance. It's a rich, floral, exotic, and lots of vanilla. It's gardenia, kind of frangipani, but with incense. It's absolutely amazing, and that could be a niche fragrance just because it stands out, it's different, and it's so good. This is Terracotta by Guerlain. Another fragrance that's white florals. It's sort of gardenia, frangipani again. It smells a little bit like suntan lotion. Also smells like warm sand. It's really, really lovely. And I've always loved Le Male. This is my bottle. We believe it to be a little bit vintage because it's got a label on the bottom, and it's just, it was of its time. It was absolutely amazing. It was the first release by Francis Kurkdjian, his first fragrance as a young man, and how iconic and classic that fragrance is. It's beautiful. I could wear it. I sometimes wear that to the gym. I think it's lovely and fresh. This one, my mummy bought me this. Marc Jacobs Decadence. Yeah, the bottle's annoying. It's really annoying. I put that in my perfume cabinet, and every time I get it out, I'm worried that I'm going to pull all my bottles over. It's a stupid bottle, but it smells really beautiful. It smells like a gourmand fragrance to me. It smells of chocolates and strawberries, and it sounds crap the way I'm describing it. It's a very smooth and rich gourmand fragrance, and I mean it's stupid, but It's really good. So I'm not saying all designers are shit, and I honestly don't believe that I'm a snob, but I am very, very, very into fragrances, and that means I have to seek out the harder to find stuff and the more expensive stuff, and not always necessarily the more expensive stuff, but just the more interesting stuff, not the mass market things, because you know, you get a bit bored of that kind of thing. So that's it. I'm going to leave it there. I would really like to know what you think, and you know, if you completely disagree, then say so and tell me, because there's no right answer to this, it's just opinions. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.